Rava. If you recall, Rava said yesterday that if two people said that the murder happened on the east side of the palace, and two other people say that you were with us on the west side of the palace, so the Gemara said, we see if you, when you're on the west side, can you see to the east side? If you can see to the east side, so then maybe everything is true. They were with them on the west side, but they could see to the east side and they saw the murder. But if you can't see from the west side to the east side, so then we say we kill the witnesses. So the Gemara says it's obvious. The Gemara says the chidush is that even though maybe there is a possibility of maybe they have an exceptional eyesight, and maybe we should say that maybe because of that exceptional eyesight, they actually saw it from the west side to the east side, even if the ordinary person cannot see it. The Gemara says we're not concerned to say that they have such eyesight, which is not the usual eyesight. That's what we said yesterday in the Gemara. And we brought down that there's two ways to learn this Gemara. Either we're not concerned for that exceptional eyesight, and therefore we will kill those first pair of witnesses who claim that the murder happened on the east side, because they could not have seen it, because from the west side they don't see it to the east side, even though there might be a few individuals in the world that might have such exceptional eyesight, but that's not the majority, and the majority don't have such eyesight, and therefore they should get killed. Or we said that because they might have this exceptional eyesight, we will not kill the first pair of witnesses, because it's possible they did see it, but we also can't kill the alleged murderer, because most people don't see from the west side. If in the case when most people will not see from the west side to the east side, will not kill the alleged murderer. What did you say? So nobody will get killed according to Tosfos Shas. Now we have another statement of Rava, which is of similar nature. V'amar Rava, when the wide lines, about 8 lines in. V'amar Rava, first word of the line is Mahu. V'amar Rava, Bohu Shnayim, you have it, Mr. Safdie? Shal Shnayim v'amru, correct. B'sura, b'safra, in Surah, in the morning, in Surah, B'chad b'Shabbata, on Sunday, Harak Ploni. So this is a town in Bavel. Morning, Mr. Adji, welcome back. Okay. Now that you're back, they're all going to come. They're waiting for you, Mr. Adji. Okay. We are in Hayam and Aleph, 5A3. We are on 5A3 towards the left side of the page. V'amar Rava, about 10 lines in English. 5A3. V'amar Rava. Rava also said another statement of you have right here. So what did Rava say? Listen to the case. Amar Rava. Bo Shnayim. 2 witnesses came and said, B'tsura, B'safra, in Surah, in the town of Surah, in the morning, B'chad b'Shabbata, in the morning on Sunday morning. What happened on Sunday morning? Harag Ploni Esanefesh. So-and-so killed somebody. We'll say Ruvain killed Shimon on Sunday morning in Surah. Ubo Shnayim. And then comes the second pair of witnesses. And they're going to testify about the first pair of witnesses. For Amru, Bepanya, Bechad B'Shabbata. That Sunday, towards evening, those witnesses who claim that they saw the murder in Surah, so they said they saw it Sunday morning, but on Sunday evening, those witnesses were with us in Nahardot, in another town, in a different town, they're with us. So now they say they saw the murder on Sunday morning in Surah. It's like, they say they saw the murder in New York, but they were with us in New Jersey at night. So now the Gemara says it depends. Can you go, are you able to travel from New York to New Jersey, the part of New Jersey, from the morning to the night? Is that enough time? Or not enough time? If it's enough time, So then it's possible they saw the murder in the morning, they traveled to a different location. And if it's not possible to go ahead and see the murder, to travel from the morning to the afternoon to evening, let's say they were in the morning in Surah and the other town is, you cannot go travel that amount of time in one day. So then it means that these guys are framers, and therefore you would kill the witnesses for coming to court and trying to attempt to kill somebody. Right. So that very good. The Torah says we believe the second pair witness unless someone else says that the second group are framers. We believe witnesses. The only time we don't believe the witness is if someone comes and discredits the witness. So the second pair of witness is discrediting the witness by saying you guys weren't here. Right. Right.
I'm not sure Shabbat and not the witnesses.
We don't even accept them. We don't even hear the second pair witness. If they're not Shomer Shabbat, they're not a kosher witness. Even if we have to know, can we allow them into court? They have to, because once we allow them into court, even if they're more trustworthy, more pious people, let's say, that. But at the end of the day, if they're able to be allowed in as witnesses, we believe the second pair over the first pair, as long as the second pair are not talking about the details of the case. If they're arguing about the details of the case, then it's 2 against 2. So two guys say Reuven borrowed $100. The other two guys say they didn't borrow $100. Two guys say it was $100. The other guy says it's $200. Can't be really exactly. But the main thing here, your case is talking about Russia, someone who violates the Torah, that person is. That's why it's the most important thing is the witnesses at the wedding is to make sure that those witnesses.
Witness wedding, I could say, I can't use you. You're related to me. What happens to be in this town was my brother. He can't be a witness now in this case.
Only if it has to do with you. He could witness. He could testify anything he wants.
That's the part of it. He was with them.
If he wants to testify, he was with them, and it has to do with a case pertaining to you. He can't testify if you're involved somehow.
Yeah.
Right.
I told someone, those 2 witnesses said they saw me. My brother was in New Jersey. They were in New Jersey that night. They don't talk about the case. They come and put their hand up and say, I was with those 2 witnesses in New Jersey. Is my brother allowed to testify that he was with those 2 guys?
I don't believe your brother could testify about being with those 2 guys if it has to do with you. Because you are personally involved in that situation. You will benefit or whatever you somehow, therefore you cannot testify. It can be Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu can't testify about our own. When even if it's the most honest people, Torah says you can't have a relative testify. So now we are on 583. So the Gemara says, let's read it inside. The Gemara says, Chazina, if from the morning to the evening you could travel from Surah to Nardah, we'll have his own mim. They're not framers because it could be they saw the death. And the case is Morris. 2 witnesses say they saw Reuven kill Shimon. In the Hebrew side, we're on about 10 lines into the wide lines. The first word of the line is Lin Nahardah. It's the first word of the line. You see Lin Nahardah? On the Hebrew side. Yes. See right over here. You look at my Gemara, this is if 2 people claim Reuven killed Shimon in Surah in the morning, and the 2 of the witnesses said, you guys were with us, you witnesses were with us in Nardah at night. If it's possible to travel from Surah to Nardah, so then at night, one day, so therefore they're not saying a lie. But if they can't travel from where they said they saw the murder in the morning to the evening to the next location, or if 2 witnesses you were in a different location at night and you could not have went from the morning night, therefore they're considered framers. So the Gemara asks, Shita, isn't that obvious? Imlav, if you cannot travel from Surah to Nardah in that one day, of course there's Zomimim. They're framers because they had no ability to be in Nardah. They could not have been in Surah in the morning and Nardah at night. If you're not done at night, that means you could not have seen it in the surah in the morning. Therefore, you guys are making up a story. So the Gemara says Pshita. So the Gemara says the following: Mao de Tema, you might have thought, Lichush Lagama Parcha. Maybe you should be worried about a Corvette. What's a Corvette? How fast? Corvette is a fast car. So maybe these guys had a Corvette, and they went from, and they were young. Maybe they had that hot blood that they were going 100 miles an hour. Maybe if you have a Corvette and you go 100 miles an hour, maybe you would be able to go from Surah, Pinharda, from that part of New York to Baltimore or whatever, or to Boston or whatever it is in that time period. So therefore, the Gemara says, Kamash Malan, the Gemara called it Lagamla Parcha, camel that's like a speeding, flying camel. The flying camel, Rashi said, is like a bird that flew. That camel was so fast. So maybe they had a speeding camel, and therefore they were able to go, even though the average camel doesn't do the trick. You will not be able to go from Surat to Nado with the normal average car camel in those days. But if you have this the speeding camel, they would be able to go. So we're not concerned that maybe they went with this speeding camel. And therefore what? Now the question is, when the Gemara says we would have thought maybe they went with the speeding camel, and as a result of that, what was the Gemara thinking? Was the Gemara thinking, and therefore they should get off the hook? They should not get killed, the witnesses, because maybe they're telling the truth. And the alleged guy that they claimed murdered the guy, we would not kill as well, because most likely they did not go with that speeding camel. So maybe the Gemara is in the possibility that we would have, we thought that we would have thought, throw out the case. We would have said, what should happen? Nobody should get killed. And then comes the Gemara, and it says, no, Kamash Malan, we're not going to be concerned that there was a speeding camel. And rather, what will we say? Good morning, Mr. Rappaport. We were going to say we're going to kill the witnesses. That is the one approach to understand the Gemara. The other approach to explain the Gemara, others say that the Gemara, when the Gemara is saying that maybe we should be concerned about when the Gemara says that we're not concerned about a speedy camel, therefore, just to bring Mr. Rav up to date, two witnesses say Reuven killed Shimon in a certain town in the morning, and two other witnesses say about the first pair of witnesses, how could you say you witnessed that he killed Shimon in that town in the morning, you with us at night in a different town? So the Gemara says that can you go from one town to the other if you could go from the morning where they claimed the murder happened to where the witnesses were found by the second pair of witnesses in a different town? If the witnesses could travel that amount of time, then we say they're not saying a lie, because they could have witnessed the murder in one town in the morning and they went to a different town at night. But if the time of travel would be, you would not be able to go from where they claimed it happened to where they were found later in the day. You were found in a different town. It happens all the time in the courts today. People make a testimony, and we have other people come and they say, "You weren't. How could you testify? You were somewhere else. You weren't there. You didn't see it. We have documentation, whatever." The courts today, they have documentation. We saw you went to a restaurant in a different town. We have documentation. You paid with your credit card. You went out to eat in another town. In no way you could have been where you claimed you saw it. You were in another town at that time. That's what the Gemara says. So the Gemara says it's obvious. That's what we do. So the Gemara says you might have thought in the case when on the normal transportation you would not be able to go from where you claim you saw the murder to the place that you were found later on in the day. But if you would have exceptional means of transportation, not the norm, you would be able to do it. You would be able to go. So maybe we should be concerned. Maybe you went in that unusual way of transportation. So the Gemara says we're not concerned that you went that unusual way. So one approach of the Gemara is, therefore, we're not concerned. Therefore, we're going to actually have to kill those witnesses. We're going to kill those witnesses because we're going to say the normal means of transportation is you would not be able to have gone that way. And we don't trust you that you're saying that you were there and you saw the murder. Others learn, no. The Gemara is saying at the end, because we do The Gemara is saying at the end, we're not going to kill anybody. The Tosfos Shas will say that because, meaning, if you would be concerned of the unusual means of transportation, then you would believe the first witness and say, actually, they saw the murder. They saw the murder because maybe they had we said a Corvette, and maybe they had a special car that was able to travel, which is from one to the other. And then maybe if that's the case, maybe we should believe that. Because they came to court as witnesses. They say Reuven killed Shimon on that day in the morning. Comes the Gemara, says, we're not concerned that they actually drove that Corvette. Therefore, we're not going to kill the guy that they said did the murder, because we're not concerned that they came with the Corvette, but we're also not going to kill them. But there's a possibility they did go with a Corvette. And they did see the murder, and it's probably they're not lying. So according to the Tosfos Shas, everybody would be off the hook in this case. Even in a case where under normal means you would not be able to travel from the place that you claimed the murder took place, the place that you were found later in the day, since under normal circumstances you cannot travel, then we're not going to believe you towards what you said about the guy, that you said he killed the guy. But also we're not going to kill these witnesses who said what they said, but there's a possibility that they did have that Corvette and did see it in the morning and travel to that place at night. That's how the Tosfos Shas learns the Gemara. Tosfos Shas is one of the Rishonim. His name, that's like his name. Oh, in halacha, okay, in halacha we have to see how they pass it. That's a good question. We haven't been doing capital punishment cases in a long time. It's been a long time since we haven't. Right, it's another case of exactly. It's another right, exactly. It's another case of Rava. Exactly, very similar cases. Excellent. Now we have a V'amar Rava. Rava's on a roll here. We have a third case of Rava now. Amar Rava. Rava says the following. Now we're on 5A3 on the right side column. Bo Shnayim, two guys come to court. You very important. Shnayim, but in capital punishment cases, you need two people we don't do anything capital punishment or lashes without two people, and even money. You can only obligate someone money on the testimony of two witnesses, not one. But one witness has a certain power when it comes to financial issues that he can obligate an oath. If one witness comes to one and says, Reuven, you owe me $100, and Reuven denies it, Reuven doesn't have to pay. If two people say, Reuven, you owe $100, and Reuven denies it, Reuven, you have to pay. You lose. Against two witnesses, you lose. Against one witness, you have to swear. You denied it. You said you don't owe the guy $100, but we have one witness that said you owe $100. You have to take an oath. You have to swear that you don't owe the money. That's the power of one witness. So that's why we'll always see Shnayim. Here we're talking always, but you want to kill a person, you need two people to do that job. One witness is not enough, which the courts today, they believe, the secular courts, they would believe one witness. I know of a certain case that they believe one witness, but here, the Torah does not believe one witness to kill somebody. Edi Tuma also, if you have two witnesses that a lady violated the warning, that the husband warned her, he was warned, they were warned not to go, she was warned not to be alone with another man, and she violated the warning, but she needed to have two witnesses that saw that she violated the warning, she was alone with another man. And as a result of that, she's forbidden to her husband until she drinks the water. It also would be to all those things with Isurim, these type of things, with Eshes Ish. There's certain things one witness is believed. Let's say when it comes to Shchita, slaughtering an animal, you don't need two people to be there to slaughter an animal. One person can slaughter an animal. One person can make an animal, when you slaughter it, it's not kosher still, because you have to get out the blood. You have to soak the animal, soak the meat, salt the meat. One person's belief is, I soaked it and I salted it. So there are certain things that we do believe one, there's certain things that we believe one witness, certain things you need two witnesses. For different cases, sometimes it depends on the case. So back to our Gemara. V'amar Rava, bo shnayim, two witnesses come, v'amru, and they say, bechad Mishabata, on Sunday, Harag Ploni es nefesh. On Sunday, Ruvain killed Shimon. Ubo Shnayim, comes a second pair of witnesses. V'amru, and they say about the first pair of witnesses, they discredit them, but they discredit them in the way that they became zomim. Imanu hayitem b'chad b'shabata. You were with us on Sunday. You guys claim that Reuven killed Shimon on Sunday. Two witnesses came to court, and they say Reuven killed Shimon on Sunday. We'll call them A and B came to court, and they say Reuven killed Shimon on Sunday. C and D come to court, and they say, how could you say Reuven killed Shimon? They say to the face of the A and B, you say you saw Reuven kill Shimon on Sunday? A and B, you guys were with us on Sunday, somewhere else. You could not have witnessed this murder. Ella, but not only does the second pair of witnesses say that the first pair of witnesses are Zomimim, but they also say that they were there and they saw the murder. And they saw the murder took place on Monday. But it happened. It happened. Reuven did kill Shimon. But it did not happen the way the first pair of witnesses said that they say they saw it. They could not have seen it. They were not there on Sunday. But we were there on Monday and we saw it. So what are we going to do? We're going to kill everybody. Sorry to say. We're going to kill the A and B, the first pair of witnesses, because they were trying to frame, they said a testimony that they had no right to be there because they weren't there based on the testimony of the second pair of witnesses. But there was a murder. Doesn't take away, and based on the testimony of the second pair of witnesses, which was never challenged, nobody said that that C and D were with them. No one challenged C and D. C and D is believed, and C and D, and therefore they're going to kill the person who Reuven, and they're going to kill the first pair of witnesses. Is it clear? Anybody has any questions? Feel comfortable to speak up. No, the Edom Zomim, because C and D said that A and B were with us on Sunday. That made A and B Zomim. Well, but that's again. But they still made A and B Zomimim because they said A and B were with us on Sunday.
That's all they had to say.
But it doesn't. It's true, but it doesn't. That's a very good point that doctors point out. It seems like contradictory testimony. But once they say A and B with us, then A and B is out.
Any hole in A and B's case,
Right. That's the.
Is any hole? The guy said, you know what? The murder weapon was this, or I saw that car you see today. Second records. I saw the car leave the laundromat and that green Chevrolet. That was the car. Oh no, it wasn't that car. It was a different green Chevrolet. Okay, so now there's a hole in the case.
Right. So I would presume we have to again.
Exactly.
We have to see. There's a Masechta called Sanhedrin. So I would presume there are certain things that are common things that people can make a mistake. There's certain things that is not common. You know what I'm saying? We have to see colors and different things. We have to see what's the norm to make. I would speculate that things that are common things, let's say 1 hour to a second hour, might not be a real mistake. But that's what I'm trying to say. It might, meaning the type of car might be a real mistake. You know, it was either a Porsche or a BMW. You know what I'm saying? Some things are clear, but there might be things that are not real mistakes that you could say, you know what, this is something this is a clear contradiction. Maybe it's common that people are not. I'm saying there might be, when you say a whole, not
Sunday to Monday, it's not a common.
No, some can do it, and that's a real mistake. I'm just saying.
A mistake, why they got?
No. I'm saying there might be, when you say a hole in the testimony, there might be certain things in testimony that might not qualify as a hole in the testimony. That's all I'm saying. That sometimes there might be certain things, like I said. One guy said it was 10 o'clock in the morning. One guy said it was 11. Two guys said it was 10 o'clock, and it's 11 to 10 to 11 might not be. No, if any common mistake, that would be a whole testimony.
Would you say, okay, why is it not?
Why is A and B dying? Because because
Like,
Sunday to
obviously,
Monday,
Sunday,
so,
it wasn't
Sunday to
Sunday.
Monday is a real. I mean, that's not something people mistake. People
You
don't.
said it's a common
No,
error.
no, I didn't say it's a common error. I'm saying there are things that are a common error. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, so
'Cause you made a
one day is
statement-
not a
That's not a common error. No.
common error. Monday, Tuesday, I don't know what day.
Not when you come to testify. When you come to testify and you say, it happened on Sunday. It's not that, if you're not sure, then you say, I don't remember. Possibly you don't know Sunday, Monday. I don't know when it happened. But if you come and you say, we saw on Sunday, I mean, you're saying with a certainty that's what it was. And if once you say that a certainty and then you've made that mistake, then that's the real hold. There's no backing out. Exactly. All right. So therefore you come to say something, you have to know 100%. So now the Gemara says, now, v'lo'od. So that's case one, Rava says. Doctor, you have it? V'lo'od. Now, and not only that, elafilu amru. Should I read the Gemara? I'll go back 2 lines. I'll read it inside the Gemara. Amar Rava. Bo shnayim v'amru. 2 people came and they said, Bechad. Chad is 1. Echad. Bechad b'Shabbat on Sunday. Harag ploni. So-and-so killed as a nefesh. Bo shnayim, and 2 other witnesses come. V'amru. And they say, Imon hayitem. You were with us. Bechad b'Shabbat on Sunday. Ella, rather, betrayed b'Shabbat on the 2nd day of the week, which is Monday. Harag ploni as a nefesh. That's when the murder took place. Now comes another chiddush. Another point. V'lo'od, not only that. Afilu amru. Erev Shabbat harag ploni as a nefesh. If the second pair of witnesses do not say it happened on Monday, they say the murder happened on the previous Friday. The first pair of witnesses say that the murder happened on Sunday. The second pair of witnesses say the murder happened on the previous Friday, a couple of days before Sunday, 48 hours before the first pair of witnesses claimed that the murder took place. Neharagi. We're going to kill the first pair of witnesses. Now you can ask me, why not? Why shouldn't you kill the first pair of witnesses? The second pair of witnesses say that the first pair of witnesses, A and B, were with them on Sunday. So why shouldn't we kill the first pair of witnesses? So what did you say? Oh, so very good. So let's explain what Mr. Safdie is saying. If 2 people come, if let's say there's a verdict about somebody in a certain court that says there's a certain court that said that Reuven killed Shimon on Tuesday. And then 2 of the witnesses come there and they passed down a judgment that Reuven is obligated death. He has to be executed because that he was found guilty of murdering somebody. And this happened on Tuesday. Comes 2 witnesses. The murder happened, let's say, 2 weeks ago, whenever the murder happened, but the court, it was sentenced. There was a sentencing. Reuven is obligated death. After he was sentenced by court number 1, 2 guys walk into another court and they say that Reuven killed Shimon. They say that Reuven killed Shimon. And then these guys who walk into the court, it's this other court that Reuven killed Shimon, they were found to be Zomimim, meaning, let's say the other court didn't know anything about that there was already a sentencing in another court. And these 2 guys walk into another, A and B walks into another court. They claim Reuven killed Shimon. Now we know, we have the news that there was already a sentencing on Reuven from court number 1 in America. And in Israel, they didn't have any, they didn't know about the sentencing. And morning, Jake. And A and B walks into the court in Israel, and they now, after the sentencing was already given out but not executed yet, meaning they didn't kill the guy, morning motion. They went into the other court in Israel, and now they claim they saw the murder. They claim they saw this murder that Reuven killed Shimon. And then what happens, morning, Mr. Feldman? Then 2 of the witnesses say, how could you guys say that you saw this murder, you with us? So the standard is when people are found to frame somebody, we kill the witnesses. You attempted to kill somebody. We kill the witnesses for trying to kill someone, and they were not able to testify because you weren't there. If you come to testify and you attempt to kill somebody based on your testimony, and other people say that you were not there, that you were them, we kill the witnesses who attempted to kill somebody. But here, the witnesses that came to court in Israel, they attempted to kill, so to speak, a dead man. Why did they attempt to kill a dead man? Because there was already a sentence on this man in the first court. Once there's a sentence on a man in the first court, if people come to testify against him, they're coming to testify a guy that we look at in halakhic terms, they're coming to testify against a dead man. And when you come to testify against a dead man, people are not obligated death for attempting to kill a dead man, so to speak. Same way, if people come to court and they want to kill someone who already died, and two people come to court and they say that, Reuven killed Shimon, but Reuven's already dead. So they were trying to kill a dead man. They're not going to kill witnesses for attempting to kill a dead man. So we look at the guy who has a death sentence on him in that aspect as a dead man. They're coming to kill a dead man, and therefore we do not kill the witnesses in such a case. That's very good, right? So if there would have been a sentencing, if the witnesses, the second pair of witnesses say, again, first pair of witnesses says the murders took place on Sunday. They saw it happen on Sunday. Meanwhile, we don't know sentencing yet. The second pair of witnesses come and say, there was you guys were with us on Sunday, but if they would have said there was a sentencing before Sunday, if they would have said there was a sentencing, let's say on the previous week, on the Friday before, if they would have said, so then the first pair of witnesses would have been off because they were attempting to kill a dead man if there was already a sentencing prior to them coming to testify. So right, because you were coming to kill a dead man because it was a verdict ready from the court. The verdict from the court. So even if the second court actually didn't know about the verdict of the court and they accepted the witnesses and they gave it, but they're not going to kill the witnesses based on attempting to kill someone that there was a previous sentence to.
This is what I understand. These two witnesses go to the stuff. Okay, they're like, we saw Shimon kill you. Okay, doesn't Shimon have to be in that court? How could you testify about someone killing?
Let's say Reuven killed Shimon. They said Reuven killed Shimon.
Okay, so Reuven killed Shimon. Okay.
Right.
The court first said yes. We see that Reuven killed Shimon. Now in another court, two other witnesses get up and they say, you know what? And he's already considered dead. You say, you know what?
We saw Reuven kill. So let's say Reuven's there. The fact that he's sentenced doesn't mean he's not. Let's say he ran away. Reuven ran away from court number one and he ran to court number two. He ran to court number one, then they got him. He ran from New York to Israel. They ran, and now you go ahead. Now I found him. And now they come and they say, Reuven, you killed Shimon. Okay, very good.
It's taking away from the bad people.
That's a good point. But at the end of the day, you were framing a person that already has. Right. It's a good. You know what? Why are we giving them off? That's what you say. Okay. There is such a thing. Also, what I recall. Let's say there's someone who's a treifa, a person who has some sort of defect in his body that he's going to die within the year. So if a person kills a treifa, the court down here will not kill the murderer, kill the treifa. God himself will take care. God himself will, because the man that you killed was a man so that type of person that's a treifa, it's not the level of a man that the Torah is going to say we execute someone for. God is going to punish him. God will take care of the guy. Nobody gets away with anything. We have to remember that. The fact that you see what I'm saying, Mr. Feldman? So the same thing is, even,
Hashem dictates whether somebody's going to die. The doctor can't come in and say, oh, this guy's going to die. Actually, there's got to be, I mean, we've seen
Right.
situations where a miracle happens and somebody comes out of a coma.
right.
So you can't say he's dead.
No, we're very good. We can't say that, it's true. But we can say that most of the people die as a result of this internal hole in his lung, let's say. So, and therefore, because most people die, and if a person kills this type of person, with the court down here, God does not say that the court down here should execute such a person. God wants the court down here to execute someone for killing somebody who is who's not, that's the court down here. The court upstairs, like today, there's no court down here that's executing anybody by the Jewish community. What? By the way, eye for an eye is not, by the way, that eye for an eye is not to mean literally. We don't do eye for an eye. We don't do tooth for a tooth. It's the value of an eye, value to the only exception that we do to them is by witnesses who frame somebody. There we do to them what they want to do to the other guy. But in general, when a person damages somebody, we don't do to the person. We don't, you hit the guy and you knocked out his eye, we're going to knock out his eye. We don't do that.
Why not? Why don't you, why do an eye for an eye for this case of people don't need but not
Right. It would seem that when it comes to people framing somebody, the Torah went above and beyond the norm. Because you know why, Jake? Maybe because framers could get away, sometimes have the ability to get away with something more than other people. Meaning a framer comes to court, meaning a guy hits somebody, he's not getting away with it. He hit somebody. There are witnesses that he hit the guy, so we're gonna do justice, so to speak. A guy frames somebody. It's much harder to catch the guy framing somebody. Guy comes to court, he makes up a story, and how do you go ahead and really deter that? But when you say reverse of his mouth, he's saying it's afflicting pain. But again, it's more than that, is that he is in a position to really misuse the system more than anybody else, is those witnesses. He could use his mouth to create havoc to the whole world, to anybody, because we believe witnesses. And therefore, maybe that's why the Torah goes out of its way. The Torah says they don't need to be warned, a phenomenon that we don't find anywhere else. Meaning, why can't the witnesses come to court? And why can't the court just say, we're going to warn you guys, if you go ahead and you framing the guy, you're going to get what you wanted to do to the other guy. We don't do that. Now, why not? Like every other time, we warn them. I think the Torah wants specifically to say, you guys are different. We're not going to. You need to know it's a statement to the guys. By not saying it and punishing them, that's going to show how serious we are with this sin. Maybe that's why, and therefore we have to go be extra strong. Okay, remember we have the power of the mouth. Let's use our mouth for great things. Daven, learn, say the nice things to people, compliments, lift up people's spirits. The Sefer Chinuch says when someone's down, very good. But most of the people here we're talking about. But Jake, I have something for you. But most of the people, when people are down, when you lift up their spirits, you make them feel better. It's a mitzvah tzedakah. Tzedakah is not only with your pocket, with your money, with your mouth. When you cheer someone up, that's the mitzvah tzedakah. Have a great day. Welcome back. Yeah. Then here he comes. He hasn't been here this week. If you want to say something to him, tell me we miss him. Is the coins. Thank you. You give me more than I paid for it. What?
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you very much. You take back 10 now.
No.
Okay, take a look at them. There's 5 there. Do the counting.
It's 5 here.
Okay. Enjoy. Now you